Hey, y'all, you listen to the Gary Owen podcast. Hashtag GetSome.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen with the GetSome podcast. You can listen to this on iTunes or go to YouTube, youtube.com/Gary Owen.com. That's youtube.com/Gary Owen.com. I'm going to start off with my schedule because it is brutal. Brutal. When I say, okay, let's do the math here. So February 14th, Valentine's Day, I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. February 15th, 16th, and 17th, I'm in Kansas City, Missouri at the Improv. In Baton Rouge, I'm at the Pete Maravich Center with John B., Robin Thicke, Tamar Braxton, Marsha Ambrose, and Lil Duval. So it's just like a bunch of cool white dudes, a couple black chicks singing, and Lil Duval. That's what it is. It's the Love and Laughter show. I'm the laughter, obviously. And I got the lineup. I'm going up right after John B. I'm like, I think after me is Tamar Braxton and then Robin Thicke. He's closing out. And then February 18th, I'm in Omaha, Nebraska at the Funny Bone. February 19th, I'm in Des Moines, Iowa at the Funny Bone. Then I have an off day on Wednesday. And then 21st, 22nd, 23rd, I'm in Birmingham, Alabama at the Stardome. 24th, I'm at the Fillmore in Miami, but I think it's a Miami Heat function. I think it's a private deal. And if it's not private, I'm sure the tickets are pricey because, those boosters and the people that contribute to the Heat. I'm not sure what it is, but I know I'm doing stand-up, but I'm also roasting the team, but I'm also doing like an auction, something. And then the 25th, the Heat is so kind, they're going to leave me courtside seats to the game. I think they're playing the Phoenix Suns. 27th, I'm in Naples, Florida at Off the Hook Comedy Club. And then 28th through March 3rd, I'm in Orlando, Florida. And then I'll finally come home March 4th. So let's do the math here. Starting February 14th, I have 3 days off the rest of the month. 3 days where I'm not actually going to be on stage. And you got to realize Kansas City, Birmingham, Orlando might have multiple shows on Friday and Saturday. That's a lot of shows. And I'm not complaining because there was a time when I wasn't working. And now I am. So I'm not about to bitch and complain now. Last week, I was in Nashville, Tennessee at Zany's. We did 6 shows in 2 days. That was a lot. That almost did me in. And then I was in Atlanta on February 8th. And while I was in Atlanta, I did somebody else's podcast. I did Vince Carter and Bazemore. I think Kent Bazemore. Bazemore. Sorry, that's a Bazemore. Bazemore. He used to be on Golden State. I didn't know he went to Old Dominion. Old Dominion University was that female college basketball powerhouse before like Tennessee and Connecticut. And I just remember in the 80s, all the girls had Jerry curls. Like Old Dominion was Jerry Curl U back in the 80s. Because every time you see them play, they were just girls balling out of their mind, but curls. Looked like a bunch of female Karl Malones out there in the 80s. And they didn't have like the tank top. They actually had the long sleeve. Like them and the Evansville, University of Evansville, the men's team always had the normal T-shirt looking jerseys, not the tank tops. And Old Dominion always had they looked like T-shirts. But it was cool because as you can see, I'm wearing Atlanta Hawks stuff. Man, that team took care of me. So we go down there, right? And we just went down there to do Vince Carter and Bazemore's podcast. And so we go down there, and then I do the podcast with Vince and Bazemore. And then afterwards, Vince was like, he had some guy show me around the facility. And then when the guy showed me around the facility, then Vince introduced me to the head coach, which I didn't know was the head coach because he's pretty young. His name's Lloyd Pierce. He looked like a player. I don't know. He didn't look like a head coach to me. He wasn't like didn't look like Tom Thibodeau. I mean, he's a young brother. And so I walk in and the coaches are having a meeting. And Vince goes, "Yeah, they're watching game film right now." And they were watching one of my specials on the game film. And then so then Vince has one of the trainers or somebody take me around the whole facility. It is really a state-of-the-art, dope facility where the Hawks practice because they practice right next to like a rehab hospital sports rehab hospital. So if somebody gets hurt, they literally can just do the MRI right there, do the surgery right there, rehab right there. You never have to leave. And if nobody's ever been to these NBA locker rooms, I would never leave. I don't think I'd get an apartment. I just find a place. I'd live there. The lockers are huge. If you go into the bathroom, like I got a full tour, not while the guys were changing, but they have every shampoo, every deodorant, every kind of cologne. It's just lined up. And then the weight room, state of the art. And NBA locker rooms are interesting. Our NBA workout facilities are interesting because NFL weight rooms are freaking massive. A lot more guys. NBA, we got 12 guys. So it's small. So the weight rooms are small, but they got everything in it. And then they show me where the hot tub is and the cold tub. And then this is something I need to do and I want to do. They show me the egg where the guys sit in and put salt water and they just lay there for like an hour. And it's like 4 hours of deep sleep. The guy explained to me. And he goes, it's like sensory deprivation. And like you literally almost go into like a comatose state and you're just so relaxed and your body just, and then salt water is good for you anyways. And that was one thing I almost was like, can I do it? But I didn't have all day. And I know they had to get practice going. But how are you going to tease me? He lifts up this big egg, shows me all this salt water, shows me how much salt water they use. And he said, the guys, when they just get in there for an hour, he goes, and after you get out, it's like 4 hours of good, deep sleep. He goes, some people are claustrophobic. They freak out at first because you're half submerged in the water. You're just kind of floating. They said, but it's safe. And I remember hearing about it first with like Steph Curry was doing it when they were trying to find out what's making him have an edge, because Steph Curry's first couple years in the NBA, he was hurt a lot. And one of the things he said was, I started floating in this saltwater, egg. And they got him out here in the Bay Area. So I gotta find one when I get back in town. I'm going to go there. I would take my wife, but I don't think she'd make it. She'd probably make it 5 minutes. I can make it 2 hours, I bet. But then, so he's taking me around, and they make me a smoothie. They got like a chef there, so then I get this smoothie made for me, and then they got this thing called the Breakfast Club, and I guess every week a different player goes up, and they kind of explain their journey to the NBA, and they explain their family tree and history, and I felt so privileged that we got to see Jeremy Lin, because Jeremy Lin went up, and literally like 2 days later, he got traded to the Toronto Raptors. So it was like you got Lin sanity when he was at the Knicks. And then you got people saying he was a bust because he didn't really pan out in Houston and the Lakers. And then, he's been hurt the last couple of years, so he's really worked his tail off to get back into the NBA. And he just really gave us a lot of insight into what it was like going through Linsanity and what it was like, the prejudice he's gone through as an Asian basketball player, where people just don't take him serious. And to the point where Lloyd Pierce, the coach, was talking, and he even said he saw Jeremy play his senior year of high school in Palo Alto. And he said they played Mater Dei, who's out here in California. They're a powerhouse and everything. It's a sports school. And Jeremy was serving them. And was like just serving Mater Dei his senior year. And Lloyd would like readily admit, he goes, I didn't take him serious because he goes, maybe because he's Asian. He goes, I just didn't take him serious. He goes, and I hate that. And he goes, but looking back on it, he was straight serving Mater Dei. And Jeremy didn't get a lot of offers. We ended up at Harvard. And he had said, and a lot of things he said, I would like to keep in the room. So I'm going to respect his wishes. But a couple of things I think that was interesting was he had said, at Harvard, it was crazy. He goes, because in high school, he wouldn't go to class a lot. He goes, because I was smart. He goes, I could do all my work and not have to be in class. He could just, literally the teacher could be like, what do we got to do? And I could just do it. Because it was just, some people have that gift, and I know people like that. It used to bother me because you'll sit there and study, and you take a test and get a B, and this person that was just hanging out the night before because you saw him got an A. You're like, how do you do that? Some people are good test takers. Some people can write great essays. Some people just can comprehend knowledge in their brain that I can't. and other people can't. So Jeremy was like, he could always get over and get straight A's just because he was naturally smart. He just was able to retain information. It was like, I did better studying on my own than doing what the teacher was telling me to do. And he said, he gets into Harvard. He plays basketball. He goes, and then, I think he tried out for Golden State, a couple other teams. He goes, and just his journey. And the one thing that was interesting about Jeremy was he said, he's never played Olympic basketball because just like we deal with racism in the United States, China and I guess Taiwan deal with it. And he said, his family originated in China and then they fled to Taiwan. And then, so he doesn't want to disrespect his mother or his dad's side of the family. And so he doesn't want to play for China. He can't play for China and he can't play for, I think when he goes to the Olympics, it's Taiwan. It's China of Taiwan. It's called some weird, not weird, but just a different name. He said, so I'm really in limbo as far as like where I can play Olympic basketball or international basketball just because I don't want to disrespect anybody in my family. And I don't want anybody in the country, like he very much, the Chinese culture is all about respect. And you do not disrespect your elders in any form or fashion. So he said, I don't play basketball because I feel like I would be disrespecting somebody. He goes, and he just doesn't want to do it. And I was like, he goes, and it sucks because I'm literally like the dude right now from China. I mean, it was Yao Ming and now it's him. He goes, I'm the guy. And it's kind of sad actually. And, but him dealing with different prejudices and racism because he's Asian was interesting. It was very, and the one thing he said was great. He said like different people have come up to him and like NBA players, coaches, just ex-players have come up and and the Highland Sandy will come up and just be like, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I was in Japan last year. And Jeremy be like, that's great. I'm from Palo Alto. And my family's from China and Taiwan. He goes, so people don't even realize what they're doing when they're doing it. You know what I mean? And he said, what's interesting, he goes, because I like racist jokes. And he said, racial jokes. He goes, I'm in NBA. I'm going to get it. He goes, and I like it. And he goes, there's nothing like a good racial joke, racial generated joke. He goes, as long as it's not coming from a malicious place, he goes, then I can deal with it. And I'd always try to figure out, when people ask me about my stand-up, like, you talk about black people a lot, white people a lot. And I think that hit it on the nose. For me, it's weird. I'm in this NBA meeting, which is great in itself. It's an experience a lot of people won't get to have. And I'm listening to Jeremy Lin talk, and he literally hit the nail on the head as far as my stand-up. Everybody likes a good racial joke. Everybody. As long as it's not coming from a malicious place. And that was perfectly said. Perfectly said. So when I hear internet trolls and everything else, black, white, you just talk about black shit. I'm like, yeah, but it ain't come from a malicious place. It's not. So it was interesting. Like when he said that, I was like, dang, that's like my jokes. I do racial jokes, but they're not coming from a malicious place. And it was just like, dang, it was just, it's crazy listening to him talk. I found a newfound respect for him. And all of a sudden I'm a fan of him now just because, he's just a cool guy. And just hearing him talk and some of the stuff he went through, like racism isn't limited to white, black, or American. I mean, it's over in Asia too. And you never think about that stuff. And now, I'm trying to think of some other stuff that he said that he allowed us, because some stuff he asked us to keep in the room. Oh my God. Funniest shit he said though. He said, have you ever heard of tiger moms? And I was like, no, I've heard of cougars, but not tiger moms. And I guess tiger mom is an Asian term for those strict mothers that like really expect their kids to get straight A's and be successful in life. And I guess in his culture, you're expected to take care of your elders, like your mother, your father, your grandparents. And it's an honor to do it. It's not like a burden. That's what you want. He said, when I first started making money in the NBA, he goes, I didn't really need a house. I made sure I made sure my parents stayed in the same lot, but he built up their house in Palo Alto. He goes, it was important to them to stay on that lot because they worked so hard to get that little piece of land. So they built up the house on that land. And he said, but it wasn't like a burden or I have to do it. He goes, it was an honor for me to do it. Like I wanted to do that for my parents. And so then what was funny was he said, you know, a Tiger mom will be like, or he said his mom, he said, like, I'll come home with a 94 on a test. She goes, what happened to the other 6%? I can't even imagine coming home with a 94 on a test. My mom be like, dang, who'd you cheat off of? You didn't do that yourself, Gary. Who'd you copy off of? Who you sitting next to? He was like, the mother said, the way he said it to us, what the other 6% go? That was the funniest thing I heard. So anyways, so it was interesting. And shouts out to Vince Carter, especially, man. He hooked it up. And then dude. So we go to the facility and we got to sit in on practice. And we stayed for about half the practice and we left. Practice gets kind of boring after a while. And you're literally looking like, okay, I could never be in the NBA. And some of these dudes are freaking huge and they're young looking now. Like, God, when I was a kid, I thought NBA players looked so freaking old. Now I'm looking, I'm like, good Lord, are you old enough to get in the club? And then you look and they're born in like 96, 98. You're like, oh my God, I've been doing stand up. Like you were being born. Vince said, Trey Young, the rookie, Vince is the same age as his dad. I was like, oh, and then when I'm doing Vince's podcast, he said, Vince dunked in the 6th grade. Really? And the other dude, Bazemore, said he dunked in the 8th grade. I'm like, okay, we got nothing in common, clearly. 6th grade, dude? Who dunks a basketball in the 6th grade? I feel like he was throwing it in my face a little bit. And but it was funny because I remember when I had the TV show with Shaq back in 2012, we used to always go over Vince Carter's house because we were filming in Orlando and the show was called Upload on True TV. And we film in Orlando. We film on either the soundstage in Universal or Shaq's house. But a lot of times we would go over to Vince's house. Vince lives right down the street from Shaq. And we hang out over there. And Vince has like this full basketball court. And then he's got like this Gold's Gym right next to it with showers and everything. And so we go over there, and me and my son at the time, so Austin would have been 12, 11. Yeah, so we go over there, and Vince was showing Austin how to shoot, like form-wise. Like, and then so I'm sitting there, so I'm right next to them, and I'm doing my form, learning how to shoot properly too. I said, great. This is great. I'm in my 30s learning how to shoot a basketball. And I'm not lying. So Vince was like a coach that day to me and Austin. He was really teaching my son Austin, but I was really picking up on it too. I was that dad. And my son's always had a nice shot. And I really think a lot of it came from that summer hanging out at Vince's house and just Vince showing him how to properly shoot. And so here I go to the YMCA after we get done filming. And I ain't lying. You know the Y, you go to 12. And 3-point shots are worth 2 points and everything else is 1 point. I must have had 8 of the 12. And like hit 3 threes and I'm literally, some dude goes, hey man, you've been practicing. like I'm like a little kid. You've been practicing. So I go on Twitter. The guy went on Twitter and said, I balled with Gary Owen today. I didn't know he could ball like that. And then another guy was like, don't be sleeping on Gary Owen on the basketball court or something. So I'm retweeting them. All these tweets I'm retweeting, I'm saying, Vince, you see this? I'm tagging Vince on it. You see this? You know what I mean? And it's funny because literally he changed my shot. And then my knees went bad like 6 months later. And I don't really play basketball anymore. If I play basketball now, I'm in like an Epsom salt bath for like 3 days. I could probably play basketball 2 days a week. But my left knee especially, I've had 4 knee surgeries on it. It's so bad. It just swells up and messes up. But yeah, it was just cool. It was a cool experience in Atlanta. And then our show was actually at the State Farm Arena where the Hawks play. And that was a dope show. So thanks everybody in Atlanta for coming out. And then Vince shows up with like just a bag of shit. he had basketball shorts, socks, long sleeve, short sleeve, sweats, hats, keychains, chapstick. He had everything Atlanta Hawks. That's what I'm wearing. And you guys don't see the shorts. I'm full uniform right now. I got the exact shorts that match his shirt, by the way. And there was one thing I was gonna say. When I was doing Vince's podcast, we had talked, and I'm glad I got to talk to those guys in the NBA, because I said, isn't it weird? We'll go buy clothes, but we really wear the free shit. You wear the free shit more than the shit you buy, and you take care of the free shit better than the shit you buy. It's weird, man. And those guys said the same thing. They go, yep, exactly. Because, Vince was with Nike for a long time, so I'm sure they were sending him all kinds of stuff free. But I bet you if he went and bought some Louis Vuitton shoes, he probably just wouldn't take as good care of them. It's weird, man. Like, I'll take care of this shirt. Like, this little warm-up shirt, I'll take care of this. But I'll have, not a Michael Kors, but like a John Varvatos shirt. And I was like, I won't even take care of it. But the free stuff, I'll take extra good care of. And then they said the same thing. They were like, yep. And no matter how much money you make, ain't nothing like getting free shit. Ain't nothing like it. Hell, yesterday I came home and I got a pair of shoes from Cam Chancellor, who used to be a safety with the Seattle Seahawks. So he's a very fashion-forward dude. So he paired up with this guy, Mark Nolan, and they sent me a pair of shoes, and they asked me to wear them and obviously tag Cam, but they're stylish shoes. I was like, and I'll take extra good care of them, but not the shoes I buy. Now, if you notice, when I was talking about buying stuff, I didn't say Gucci. The big thing this week was that Gucci fiasco, where they had, it's a sweater that's also like a scarf, and it gets like what is it? It's a sweater, it's a turtleneck, but it folds up into your face, and Gucci puts out this Snow White model, and she's got this black turtleneck Gucci thing that covers her face, and then it's got red lips. So it looks like Blackface. It looks like one of the old 1920s cartoons that was very offensive. And shit hit the fan. I mean, T.I. went off. Basically, every black entertainer that I know went off on Gucci. And I did an Instagram post where I'm like, dude, I'm around black people so much. It takes me, it amazes me that I don't care what designer, because we had the H&M fiasco. You had, now you have the Gucci fiasco. I don't care what, how do you not know what is not offensive to black people? And it seems like it only happens to black people, because you don't see them doing it to make Asian people, Latino people, anything else. It seems like only black people, they'll do dumb stuff, like put a monkey on a hoodie or make a turtleneck into a blackface. It's just, I'm like, dude, it's not hard. It's not. And this is very different. The Gucci fiasco is very different than the Starbucks fiasco from last year, where those two black guys were sitting in Starbucks in Philly waiting on somebody else to get there, and the manager asked them to leave because they weren't buying anything. They said, no, we're going to buy something. We're just waiting on one other person. And she made them leave. That was one individual. That wasn't Starbucks as a whole. Because I know people were like, we're gonna boycott Starbucks. That I didn't blame Starbucks for that. I blamed that particular manager at that Starbucks, because that could have happened anywhere. She was out of line. It wasn't all the Starbucks. Hell, not 90, but half the Starbucks I go to I always see a black employee there. If I'm in Atlanta, all the Starbucks got black people working there. And everybody's cool. Everybody's just treating people like you want to be treated. So Starbucks does employ quite a few black people. So I never took that as like, it's Starbucks' fault. And Starbucks was very proactive after it happened to make things right. But this Gucci fiasco is on a whole nother level. I go, how does that go through different people? Like, you got somebody that actually like designed it, then they pitched it, then somebody stitched it. Then they went through like probably, had test audiences and test runs and, showed it to different people. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a hit. Yeah. People are going to love that. Yeah. I get my My cheeks get cold too. Yeah, they get cold a lot. It's gonna be good. Black attracts heat. That makes sense. Stupid. It's fucking stupid. It's common sense. It's just common sense. I don't get it. Or is your corporation that out of touch with not even African American community, just black people in general? Because black people in Europe should be just as offended as people in America. Are you that out of touch with black people that you have no clue what that like symbolizes? It's mind-boggling to me. It's mind-boggling. It sucks, man, because I'm not gonna buy anything else Gucci, but I still got a few items that I like to wear. I know it sounds awful, but I got this Gucci. It's like a rain jacket. It's just it's so comfortable when I travel in it. I just like, God damn it! Like I literally didn't put it on. Like I went to LA yesterday, and I didn't pay any attention. I'm not paying attention because I got this like a row of jackets in my closet, and I grabbed the Gucci one, and my wife goes, "I wouldn't wear that if I was you." I go, "Oh shit!" I didn't even realize it because it's not like a loud Gucci jacket. It's very subtle, just blue, gray on the inside. You wouldn't even know it, and I was just like, "Oh, I didn't realize it." So I hung it back up. So I haven't got rid of it or burned it. So I'm just gonna wait, and I'm not gonna wear it until either they do something right or I get the okay from T.I. Once T.I. says, "All right, man, it's cool," I'm going to bust that jacket back out. But I'm going to wait. I'm not going to wear any Gucci tonight. And then I got this Gucci watch that I really like. It sucks. Because I'm like, I can't wear that. So listen, all the Gucci stuff I got, I'm not like Dion Cole. If you know Dion Cole, every time I see him, he is Gucci head to toe, and I'm pretty sure his drawers are Gucci too. He's gonna have a hard time. He's got to go shopping. And Dion, every time I see him, I'm on the road with him. I see him in his Instagram videos. He is Gucci head to toe, bottom to top, side to side. I'm sure his house has got to go like a Gucci couch. He's gonna have a hard time. He's probably gonna save some money. Actually, it's probably a good thing for him. And then T-Pain made an interesting tweet too. He said like brothers will go into a black owned business or fashion store and try to talk down like two white t-shirts. Like two white t-shirts will be $20. Like, man, let me get it for $15. Come on, the brother hook up. But they'll go to Gucci and just drop a couple thousand and won't even bother to ask for a discount or a hookup. And I was like, wow, I never thought of it like that. But yeah, I'm not gonna wear my rain jacket. But I'm gonna keep it in the closet. It's gonna stay in the closet. And if this thing ever blows over, I'm gonna wear it again. But I'm not gonna wear it until this Gucci fiasco goes astray. I'm not gonna do like I'm throwing all my shit out and burning it. No, I'm gonna just keep that jacket in the closet. And then it sucks because today it's raining. It's been perfect to wear today. So I'm really upset with you, Gucci. I cannot wear my comfortable raincoat anymore. God damn it. I got to go buy a rain jacket. It's funny, man. Let me tell you, the two raincoats I have, like, I'm talking about just to run down the grocery store, or just run out to the mailbox or something, and it's a raincoat, was the Gucci one, and one, it's a Nike one from Think Like a Man. And it literally says 2011, Think Like a Man on the sleeve. And it just fits me perfect. And I don't wear it that much, only when it rains. And I still got it. And I'll be like, God, why is it so big, though? Why is 2011 Think Like a Man so big on the sleeve? It's because it looks just like a cool Nike raincoat. And you see me probably on my social media in some pictures with it on. But I'll be sitting there like, God damn it. Why can't it just say Think Like a Man? Or just nothing? Nothing. It's just so freaking big and bold. So that was the big news. And then I was working the night the Grammys was on, and all I know is Cardi B is everything right with the world. Everything right. I just love how her I don't know, just her pure joy of making it just seeps through her pores, and how she talks, and she doesn't filter shit, and she doesn't try to be anybody else but her, and she doesn't really care like whatever happens between her and her boyfriend. Offset is between her and her boyfriend, whether they're going to give it. But she's just like, she's everything right. And they always say, she's what's right. You know, what they call, you got to save her for the culture. She's for the culture. Man, she's for human culture. I can't get enough of Cardi B. Who wouldn't want to like have dinner with Cardi B? Like just to go out to dinner, go to In-N-Out, Burger King, nice steakhouse. Who wouldn't want to do that? Just to hear her talk and her point of view on the world. Because she gives such a simple view on things with no filter. You're like, yeah. A lot of times we try to explain something. We try not to offend somebody, or we try to explain it in a way where, okay, I don't want to cuss, or I want to do this. Man, Cardi just lets it out. When she was talking about healthcare and Donald Trump, I know what you're saying. There was a lockout with Obama. That was because your mama could get her pussy cream. So I was like, what? No, she said, so your mom can get healthcare. You bitches that can get your pussy cream or something. I was just like, did she say pussy cream? I don't know if that's verbatim what she said, but it was close. Yeah, she just everything right with the world is Cardi B. So I'm so happy for her success. You know, I can't wait to just be in a room with her where I can BS with her. Like comedians, we don't laugh a lot because we observe. We go into places and we just look at everything. So when you find that person that just makes you laugh, just being around them, there's my buddy Paul that I went to high school with. I just get around Paul and we literally cannot stop laughing. We'll go 6 months and we'll see each other. And as soon as we see each other, we'll be at lunch and just be dying the entire time at lunch. There's just those people that just make you laugh. And Cardi B's that one. For me, as far as like an entertainer, I'll take her over any comedian out there. I mean, she just makes me laugh, like hearing her talk. I'm just like, God damn, did she just say that? She's the best. You bitches. I do a terrible Cardi B impersonation. But speaking of comedians, this is a big week for me because I fly down to LA for a meeting and I hit Kevin up with a little text, Kevin Hart with a text. And literally I said, yo, man, you want to meet up for coffee in 2K? Because he owes me $2,000. Kevin owes me $2,000 from 2 years ago when the Eagles played the Cincinnati Bengals. And honestly, I just haven't seen him. You know, the few times I ran into him, it was real public setting and everything. We haven't had any like one-on-one interaction. So he just happened to be in LA. He said, come by Heartbeat Productions. So I have a meeting. After the meeting, I hit him up. I go over there and he's got my $2,000 on the table waiting on me. And not only do I have the $2,000, he said, now for interest, I'm giving you $5,000. I thought he said, I'm giving you $5,000. So I'm counting. I said, there's not $5,000. He goes, no, there's $2,000 there, but you have a $3,000 credit line with Kevin Hart, which means we can bet on some more games and we can bet up to $3,000. And if I lose, I don't have to pay him. But if I win, he still has to pay me. So now I have a $3,000 credit line with Kevin Hart. So I'm just like, I don't want to wait 2 years for the Bengals to play the Eagles again. So I'm like, I'll come up with like a basketball game or something. But I'm not going to do the whole, let's bet $1,500. I'm going for it all. I got to find the right sporting event to bet him $3,000. So nice little credit line. Because I didn't get it at first. And I'm sitting here like blowing him off. Like, man, there ain't no interest. He goes, no, you have a credit line with Kevin Hart. So just remember, Kevin, I heard what you said. And I am going to take you up on that bet this year at some point. I like betting on football more than any other sport. But probably a basketball game I'll bet you on. I'm sure it'll be the Sixers. I'll bet you on a 76ers game at some point. But so as I'm over there with Kevin and we're meeting, we're sitting down and he's asking me, you know, what I got coming up, what have I been doing lately? And, you know, and then he tours me around Heartbeat Productions. And I've been to his office before, but not since it's been like this. This shit was, I literally text my wife and say, I gotta get my life together. Cause I go walking around Kevin Hart's Heartbeat Productions and it's got like, I don't know. He basically has the whole floor of this building, right? It's in this building and he's got the whole floor. And one side is like Heartbeat Productions where movie deals are done. You know, now he's greenlighting projects, things of that nature, and TV stuff. And then the other side of the floor is the LOL network, which is the internet portion, and that's where he does his cold as balls, which is hysterical. If you're a sports fan, it's the best. It's just Kevin meeting with, he had Floyd Mayweather last week. He's had Ronda Rousey, Terrell Owens, and they just sit in a cold tub, an ice tub, and they talk about whatever. He had Johnny Manziel. He's got a real wide range of athletes, but he said he has like a soundstage or two soundstages, and they just film it there. I said, hold on, you got a soundstage? I was like, this motherfucker. I literally in my brain goes, this motherfucker here. But it's funny, like, when I told people, when I did an Instagram post where I finally got my money from Kevin, and like some people come up and goes, hey man, I just saw you went to LA and just had a little meeting with Kevin Hart. And I go, I didn't really have a meeting. You just BS. And it's weird, man, when you sit in a room with Kev, it's like it's 2000 again. It's not a big deal. It's just us BSing, and he's telling me what he's got coming up, and obviously he showed me around his offices, and I'm looking around all these big ass posters and these concert posters of him everywhere and everything. But at the core, it's still just you and Kevin just talking about life and kids and how's the family and everything, but if we just leave his office and go somewhere, then it gets different. Now, Kev did ghost me. I'll tell you what he did. This is hysterical. So he goes, man, I got to go get my kid. So I'm riding on the elevator down to the parking garage where he's parked. And I'm waiting for him to be like, yeah, let me give you a ride. Where you going? So I was going to, shouts out to Lindsay Falk and Glam Spa. Because every time I go there, she always cleans my face out. Like I get a facial and it's just, she cleans my pores out. And it's kind of disgusting because then she shows me all the dirt that was in my face. I was like, whoa. But you feel amazing afterwards. So me and Kev are in the elevator. We're headed down. So then he's asked me where I'm headed. I said, yeah, I'm going over. Lindsay Falk? He's like, oh, yeah. I said, it's so-and-so's friend. She's got her own little spa. I'm going over to get a facial before I got to head out. So he goes, well, where's it at? And he looks at my phone and goes, yeah. Where you catching Uber at? You catching over here on the side of the building? I said, damn, did you just like ghost me? Like, did you lead me on? Like, I'm going to give you a ride and then go, where are you catching Uber at? He goes, I did. I'm going the opposite direction. I literally thought he's going to give me a lift. And then it went from, then I had to wait on Uber. So instead of going to the Glam Spa and Kev's Mercedes, I pulled up in a nice Ford Fiesta, which was super clean, by the way. Shouts out to Uber X for picking me up in a timely manner. But honestly, it was just cool to reconnect. And then we'll be working together real soon in the future. I'm not going to say anything, but we got some stuff coming up. It should be cool. And it's just cool to see his success from where he started. And some people can get jealous. I get inspired when I get around people like that. Like, I'm like, yeah, because it can happen. It can happen. Like Sebastian Maniscalco. And I think I mispronounced his name. Maniscalco. Sebastian, comedian. I mean, he just sold like 75,000 tickets in New York a couple weeks ago at Madison Square Garden, did 4 shows. And just to see his rise, I mean, I get all fired up when I see comedians like Gabriel Iglesias, who I came up with, and Kev, who I came up with, and even Sebastian. We didn't run the same circles, but he's that, late 90s, early 2000s group that came out to LA to try to make it, chase the dream. And then when you see guys, how they just take off like that, and I'm doing great. Don't get it twisted. I'm doing great as far as stand-up and in life in general. But you see, I don't want to say the next level. You see what can happen and how fast things can happen. You're like, because Sebastian's things all came in the last couple of years. Kev's been, really like basically, as he calls it, mogul status, or on his way for the last like 7-8 years. But Sebastian's just been the last couple of years, and Gabriel also. So I get inspired when I see comedians do stuff like that. I don't get jealous at all. I'm like this. Nah, man. I love it because there's an audience for everybody. The fact that Kev, Gabe, and Sebastian are 3 comedians with 3 completely different fan bases that can all go to cities at the same time and each sell an enormous amount of tickets, And even Mike Epps and Cat Williams, it's just all those guys, man. When I see the numbers that they generate on the road and how many people will come see them, it's like, it gets me all like tingly inside because I'm like, it can happen. It can happen. You don't know how it's going to happen or where it's going to happen. You can have someone on YouTube right now as a stand-up, and it could just be sitting there with like 5,000 views, and then all of a sudden it just takes off, and you never know why. It's just for some reason a bit might go viral or something might happen, and you're just like, how did that happen? And it's just, you can sit there. That's why I always tell my opener right now. His name's Say M. He's a Cambodian comic, and he's my web guy also. But I told him, I said, say, you have to get more of a presence on YouTube. Get some of your jokes on there. I said, because I don't know any other Cambodian comics. And when he's on the road with me, I'll be telling him, I said, dude, really tap into that Cambodian culture and be that guy. Because you got Sebastian, who's tapped into that old Italian audience. Gabriel, the Latino audience. Kevin's kind of across the board. Epps has got the hood. I always say Mike Epps and Cat Williams, they got the hood on lock. You go to their show, there's going to be some Hennessy and weed stuck into that goddamn show. I'll tell you that. Then you got Russell Peters. He's got that Indian audience. Like, he comes to cities and they come out. And I'm looking at Say like, dude, you're Cambodian. There's Cambodians in every city. Don't sleep. I was like, you got to just milk. I said, stop. I had to tell him, I said, stop doing so many dick pussy jokes. I was like, everybody can do that. That's like a crutch for comedians. I said, tap in to you being a Cambodian and what that culture's like and how it's different than the U.S. and what your dad went through. I mean, they had a genocide in that country, Cambodia. I mean, that was some harsh shit that country went through for a long time. I mean, tap into that. Your family was a part of that shit and got out and came to the United States. I mean, good Lord, dude. He could literally be a Cambodian Russell Peters if you put his mind to it, to tap into that audience that nobody's tapped into yet. All right. And lastly, I had a little Instagram, not beef, but I did an Instagram post about Jeremy Hill, who was a running back with the Cincinnati Bengals, and then he went to the New England Patriots, and he was really celebrating the Patriots winning the Super Bowl. And then right afterwards, he had made on his Instagram story, he goes, "It must suck being a Bengals fan right now." And before I got all the information, I did a post where I went at Jeremy a little bit. Now, granted, he could have ignored it, but I guess what he had said was he would just say, and here's what happened. He shot me a DM, explained everything, and we DM'd each other, and we're good. And he just said, yo, I'm just trying to celebrate winning the Super Bowl, even though he was hurt and didn't play. He goes, I'm just trying to enjoy the Super Bowl. Because let me tell you something. If you on an NBA, NFL team, if you don't play, but you're at practice every day and you're in the locker room with those guys and you're game planning and you're rehabbing, you're still a part of the team. You're there. You're just not getting on the field. And that's out of your control if you're hurt. And I guess Bengal fans, some, not all, but some Bengal fans just start trolling Jeremy Hill of him celebrating winning a Super Bowl with the Patriots. So they started trolling him. So that made him say, it must suck being a Bengals fan right now. I didn't do my due diligence, and this is completely my fault. I just thought he was trolling Bengal fans for no reason. I thought he just left. I thought he did a Corey Dillon. Corey Dillon in an interview where he was on the Patriots, and somebody said, do you think the Bengals will ever turn around? He goes, aha! That's all he did. He didn't answer at all. He goes, aha! I was like, what a dick. And I loved Corey. It's kind of funny, though. But Jeremy, that's why he put the post, must suck being a Bengals fan. Because some Bengal fans trolled him and was on his page making comments about him not being shit and the fumble against Pittsburgh. And when he shot me a DM, he had said, dude, that was the worst day of my life. People don't realize, me fumbling against the Steelers, still haunts me. And it hurts. He goes, so when people keep bringing it up, he goes, I did everything I could for the Bengals. And he goes, and it just happened. I mean, he got fumbled. Ryan Shazier made a great play, punched out, and it happened. It sucks. It does suck, but it happened. So when he explained that to me, I said, he goes, dude, I literally sent him a message. I said, dude, I get it. I said, I know what you guys go through. I know what you put your bodies through. I said, but if you troll, you're going to get trolled. I said, but with me, it's never serious and it's never personal. I'm just, goofing off. I said, so I just want you to know that. I respect you. I know you put your body through. I was like, so I go, we're all good, dude. I'm not against you. I'm just, making fun of you a little bit. And he was like, all good. And then he made a post going, I respect Gary Owen so much, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I was like, but I should have did my due diligence. I didn't know bingo fans were trolling his page. And when I say bingo fan, I don't mean all. I mean a few were trolling his page, and he's just trying to enjoy the moment and win the Super Bowl. And that's what motivated him to put, must sucks being a Bengals fan right now. So I didn't do my due diligence, but still, in and bingo fans' defense, if you didn't know that, then I can see how you go off left field like, fuck that motherfucker. I didn't know. And then I didn't know Jeremy was sensitive like that, too, to take that stuff so personal. But I guess, I just have to respect that fact. But that's still, he could have chose to ignore it also, like ignore the fans. But he didn't. But he said, must sucks to be a Bengals fan. And that's all I saw. I had people hit me up. You see what Jamie Hill said? You see what Jamie Hill said? And of course, I'm like, what? And I'm going off, fuck that motherfucker! Fuck it! And even in my posts, I was just having fun with them, So it's not a big deal. It's nothing that I wouldn't say on stage if he was at my show. You kind of roast people. That's all I did was like a little mini roast on Instagram was all it was. It wasn't nothing personal. So anyways, I got a busy couple weeks. Good Lord. I'm tired just looking at my schedule. So shouts out to Vince Carter and Baseman. God damn it. I can't pronounce his name. Bazemore. Shit. Shouts out to Vince Carter and Bazemore. God damn, why can't your name be Smith, bro? For letting me on their podcast. Shouts out to Jeremy Hill, man. All love. Kevin Hart, man. Inspiring stuff, man. Got to get my life together. But inspiring shit. Thanks for taking me around your office and giving me a water. Appreciate that. And who else did it? Jeremy Lin, man. Got a new fan, brother. Got a new fan. I didn't know all that you went through to get to where you're at. I didn't know all that story. And not even after Linsanity, everything he went through after he left the Knicks, And before I get out of here, Jeremy said one thing. He goes, one thing that got me was, in the NBA, it's a fraternity, and you always see guys saying, get your money. No guys ever like, don't get your money. They're always like, yeah, man, get the bag, get your money. He goes with him. He goes, he kind of got some backlash when he signed his big deal. It's like, well, it's just because he's Asian or things like that. And he showed he pulled up some tweets that showed different athletes, not necessarily basketball players, but different athletes that were basically saying, he's an average black player, but since he's Asian, he's getting all this extra love. And I was like, dang. So it made me like take myself, I had not an out of body experience, but I was able to like just listen from an objective standpoint and not be white, not be Gary, and just be like, oh my God, not be a fan, or just to see what made Jeremy tick and things that like he really like internalized some of that stuff. Like, dang, we root for everybody else to get their money, but then I get it, and it's like I'm getting some backlash for making a lot of money. I don't ever knock anybody. Make all the money you can in this life, all of it. It's never enough. I'll tell you that. I hate when people are like, oh, he's got enough money. No, he don't. It's never enough, ever. So make all the money you can, man. So yeah. So, all right, this is Gary Owen with the GetSome podcast. Shout out Cardi B.
If you want to listen to my podcast, just go to iTunes, search Gary Owen, #GetSome.